I did not kill her.
You did kill her.
I did kill her. I was not angry at her. I was not mad. I did not intentionally mean to murder my wife. I love my wife with a huge passion, okay? We are young. We have not been together that long, and I understand that. And everybody does not fucking like that. And they don't like seeing young couple be like that, okay? I killed my fucking wife, okay? I killed my wife!
You're not going to get an argument.
There have been plenty of cases of dangerous criminals, but none of them has been as cunning and violent as Skylar Nemitz. Today, we'll be taking a deep dive into the case of this defamed predator who did the unthinkable. October 16, 2014 started as a normal day for the young couple, Danielle Nemitz and her husband, Skylar Nemitz. The couple, who had begun dating 2 years back through an online dating platform, had fell in love and just married a few months later. The couple had moved to an apartment in Lakewood, Washington, and Skylar had been away for some weeks for some military training. They were scheduled to have an awesome reunion after some weeks apart, but the poor Danielle had no idea what was about to happen. Just moments after they reunited, the neighbors heard a gunshot, and after a few minutes made a shocking call to 911 that a woman had been shot. According to one of the calls, Skylar claimed that Danielle had accidentally shot herself while cleaning one of the guns. Shortly after, police arrived at the location and saw a distraught Skylar outside his apartment. That's when they arrested him and put him in the back of the police cruiser.
Yo. My wife's so much. Oh my God. My wife. Why me? I love my wife so much. Why me? I love my wife and my life. I love my dogs. I love everything. Why me? I love my family. I love my dogs. I love my wife so much. She's everything. I couldn't take a life. I never could.
Upon questioning, Skylar admitted to the cops that he was the one who accidentally pulled the trigger and shot his wife. Skylar kept on crying inside the police cruiser, regretting his mistake, but the situation was much more sinister.
What'd you say? Have you seen my wife? No, I haven't been in there yet. So we'll be able to talk to him. Why couldn't it be me? Why couldn't it be me? I need to talk to somebody like a chaplain or a lawyer or a priest or someone. There's never limit. I love things. I love my dogs. I love my family. Please! I love being in the military. I love being in the army. I love my wife. I love my family. I love my friends. I would never hurt any of them. I'm innocent. I didn't mean to hurt anybody.
Skylar went on to explain how he loved his wife so much, and also narrated the incident that occurred earlier.
God forgive me. I love my wife so much. She's everything to me. All I did was try to protect her. I was trying to clear the rifle because I was home. I was her safety now. I was her safety, not some stupid gun I left for a month because I was gone. I was the safety. We didn't need that. All I was trying to clear it so I could put it away because I was there, because I was gonna clear it, I was gonna put it away, and I was gonna come up behind her, I was gonna kiss her on the neck, and I was gonna tell her I loved her.
And that's what led to a massive controversy. Skylar talked about another man and how he should have been the one loving his wife. Later on, this would lead to a crazy revelation.
Who the fuck does this happen to? How does this happen to people? Who the fuck does this happen to? How the Danielle! Because firearms accident, my wife died. My wife is dead because of a firearms accident. I'm gonna go to prison the rest of my life. I'm never gonna live again. I'm gonna get kicked out of the military. I'm not gonna be in the military. One thing I want to be in my entire life. I'm getting kicked out. Danielle! And that's me, the guy who loved his wife so fucking much. I sit at work and I listen to other people complain, and I'm the only guy that fucking loves my wife genuinely, and then I'm the guy it fucking happens to. I'm the guy that talks about how much I love my wife, and then it happens to me. That's... God damn it.
Danielle had been shot in her head and died on the spot. The surprising thing was that instead of calling 911 immediately, Skylar was cleaning the apartment. Knowing that she is gone, the officers proceeded to escort Skylar to the police station to be interrogated. What followed was a lengthy interrogation that ultimately resulted in him accepting his heinous crime that will leave you shocked.
Another one of these formalities, I'm going to read this to you, okay? This is a part of the investigation of what happened in your home, okay? So this is another one of those formalities. Before making any statement.
I've been gone since the 27th of last month. So I just got back today.
A couple weeks then.
Yeah, it's been like 3 weeks. Got back today. Wife picked me up, got in my truck, we drove home. Downloaded all my gear onto the porch. And we visited for like an hour and just, I missed her so much. This time was different. This time, there's something different about this time. I missed her a lot more than I had before.
How long have you guys been married?
We're about to be 2 years. So this time I had a DPMS AR-15 that I had bought last year for her birthday. Mm-hmm. It was just me and her. I bought her that for her birthday anyways. I left it unloaded. This is where I was so confused, is I left it unloaded with a magazine away from it in the closet because she doesn't know how to use the safe and all that. So I left that in the closet and I told her, you only touch this if you need it, and when I get home I'll put it away because I'm home.
It was later revealed that the marriage that started with love had seen plenty of problems down the road. Skylar was very controlling and would not let his wife go out with friends without him, and was very possessive about her.
You know, I didn't even think about any of that. I just relaxed, and finally she went to work on computer and talked to employees and whatnot, and I just thought to myself, oh, well, I'm home, I'm just gonna I'll go unload the rifle and I'll put it away because she doesn't need it anymore. So there's the front doors right here, and you kind of walk around, and there's a spare bedroom in our bedroom that me and her sleep in this bed with. Anyway, she was in the spare bedroom that we use for when I do stuff on the computer for work, or she calls employees, she goes in there because we have a computer and it's silent. I took the rifle and I took the magazine out. And I don't know what the happened. Like, I didn't charge it, I didn't pull the trigger or anything. I hit the safety. I turned the safety from safe to semi because I was about to charge it to make sure it was clear. Even though when I gave it to her, I knew it wasn't around. So here, I think that maybe when I was gone, she might have put a round in the chamber, maybe, not knowing what she was doing. And so I don't know what the I did not pull the trigger, and the magazine was not on the weapon. I put the weapon on fire, it was on fire, so it had the probability of firing the weapon. And I don't know how the went off, but it went off. And
Skylar had been brought up with guns around him, and he gifted an AR-15 rifle to his wife on her birthday. Sadly, that was the same gun that killed her. It's shocking to think a person so experienced with guns accidentally made such a mistake.
I don't know, I'm just anal, I guess, because here's why I asked her, and I think I just said this, was I don't usually have a firearm at home for her, but for this time being, she had one that I think she knew how to use, that she'd gone out shooting before, so I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll leave this one for her, I don't know. Because recently, in our apartment complex, I just feel like it's really ghetto, and I'm not a racist person, I'm just saying that it's kind of ghetto, and I don't want anything to happen to my wife, and I'm not worried about her doing things with me, I'm worried about other people doing things to her, you know what I'm saying? So, I was just worried about her. I think that was my main thing, and I think that's why I miss her a lot. I was just so worried about her, like.
A rifle, it's a pretty quality gun, and to put it on your leg and it, you know, put the weapon accidentally on fire, not clearing it with your expertise, and then a round is discharged hitting your wife in the head. This is that doesn't look good. So if there was something that was there, that would kind of understand what's happening. You know what I mean?
The detectives were being straight up with Skylar now and were not calling his bluff. That's when they decided to change his clothes and move on with much more direct and serious questioning.
Okay, so I don't want the video to see your butt, so move over here. I don't want to stand in front of you. Go ahead. Take me. That makes you two categories. One guy that had a split second of a stupid mistake or of anger versus a guy that's a calculated murderer. And I want to figure out which one of those you are.
I'm not a murderer.
Okay, so this is the facts of life, son, is that, Skylar, your wife is gone, and I know that's not, and that's a bad thing. And now, what I want to try to figure out is if you intentionally shot her in the back of the head, or if it was an accident, or if you were just really pissed off and you were saying, damn it, and you had the gun right there, and you're 5 feet away, and you pull the trigger, and then you go, oh, now what did I do? Mm-hmm. And I want to figure out what happened.
The weapon, I'm almost, okay, I think it went off, and it was on my shoulder. It was on my shoulder, it was on my breast, it was up high. It was around here. I don't know why I thought it was on my thigh, but that was just...
You didn't think it was on your thigh. You thought the story sounded better, Skylar. I'm not a fucking stupid guy. Okay. And I don't want to be treated like I'm stupid. I got a little southern accent, so people right off the bat say, you're a stupid motherfucker. Let me tell you this, Skylar. Sit your ass down. This is my fucking house. You put a gun to your shoulder, and you pulled the trigger with a gun aimed at the back of your wife's head, and you killed her. She's dead. That's a tragedy. That's a tragedy. My biggest concern right now is this a tragedy by accident, or did you intentionally shoot your wife? And that's what we're going to find out. And I'm going to tell you, if I find a letter or anything in there that indicates that she was having an affair, it don't look good. So stop the bullshit. Don't say I initially lied to me, man.
The 21-year-old thought that his wife was having an affair with someone after he found out that a guy had bought her alcohol. This infuriated Skylar and probably led to this disturbing crime. As the investigators pressed on Skylar, he reached a breaking point.
Raj.
Then you tell me, be a professional soldier, and tell me right now what the happened. I'm tired of bullshitting with you. I've been treating you with respect. I want to treat you with respect. I want to treat your wife with respect. She deserves that. She earned that. And you are going to provide that.
A little bit too fast than I should have been moving when I picked up that weapon.
So then why all the other stories before we got to this one?
I think it might just, I was...
Your story. You're detailed all the way through up until the point where we had to for 2.5 hours to get you to realize that we're smarter than you think, and you shouldered a weapon because the fucking trajectory of that fucking round didn't match up. So immediately you changed fucking story. That's about the 8th time you've done that. When your story, about 8 times, when your story doesn't make sense and you hear it for the 2nd time and we bring something up, you change the story. I'm trying to figure out why you put a gun to the back of your wife's head and pulled the trigger. Because I took an oath to do my job, like you took an oath to do your job. And I'm going to do the damn best job I can.
More than 2 hours into the interrogation, and Skylar started to get a little furious and confronted the officers with a little anger. However, they were not going to be intimidated anytime soon.
You did this intentionally. Because if this was an accident, if you had accidentally shot your wife, You would have dropped the weapon right there, went over there and started rendering CPA or first aid because you felt horrible. This was an act of rage. You were mad for some reason, and you shot her.
No, I'm mad at my wife.
And then you went
and tried to hide everything.
to include alcohol and kick magazines underneath the bed, throw the gun in the closet like it didn't. Oh shit, didn't happen, all gone. Hands clean. Skylar.
Yes. I did not.
Your wife deserves the right answer, man, not this fucking
She
bullshit.
does deserve the right answer.
Then
and I
tell
love
it.
my wife.
The cops calmly listened to him but kept on pressing him, only for him to break and accept the shocking truth.
I did kill her. I was not angry at her. I was not mad. I did not intentionally mean to murder my wife. I love my wife with a huge passion, okay? We are young. We have not been together that long, and I understand that. And everybody does not like that, and they don't like seeing young couple be like that, okay? But I do love my wife, and I've never had a problem with her that was major. I've never wanted to hurt her in any way. I've never put my hand on her, okay? And I would never want to do that ever. And today, especially, I did nothing wanted to happen to her, okay? I made love to her when I got home, and she wanted to relax, and I wanted to relax. So I watched a movie, and she was on working, okay? One thing led to another. I'm not even thinking straight, clearing a weapon, and it goes off, and it strikes my
No,
wife.
you pulled the trigger. It didn't just go off. Skylar, you pulled
I
the
pulled the
trigger
trigger
oriented at your wife.
I understand that. And I
Well, you
killed my
killed her.
wife. I killed my f***ing wife, okay? I killed my wife!
You're not going to get an argument here. I'm just trying to figure out why. That's what our job is. My partner and I are trying to figure out why you killed your wife. We already know you killed her. And we can't fix that. But what we can do...
The officers were still trying to figure out what led to this incident, and that's when they brought up the issue of Danielle's alleged relationship, which she hid from Skylar.
You knew about the roses.
What did she
That's
bring
where
it
you
up?
found her, so you told
Did
us
she
that.
tell you, or did you find the receipt?
No, I told you how it came up. Remember when she said, "Oh, I got you some alcohol," and I said, "Oh, okay, thank you. But how'd you get it?" And she said, "Oh, I got it from a coworker that I work with." And she also said, "Oh, and I also and he said, oh, and her wife is having a baby right now, and she's been having a lot of trouble staying, and she's been staying up. So I felt bad, so I went and got her some roses."
So some co-worker buys a 19-year-old girl a bottle of cinnamon whiskey, and she buys him roses because the whiskey's for you and the roses for his wife.
I don't know.
That's what you said.
No.
Well, no, the roses. She told me the roses were for his wife.
Mm-hmm. And he bought the whiskey for her husband. Put magazines underneath the bed. You knock them off the bed, kick them under the bed. You throw the gun in the other closet. You go get the bottle of liquor and you flush it down the toilet twice. Takes a minimum of 45 seconds to fill up the tub of the back of the commode, to flush it again. A minimum of 45 seconds. Did a little plumbing in my day. I know these things. And then, so you do it twice, and then you go to the door, no blood on you. Answer the door. Then you run back and you come back with minimal blood from a head wound with a 5.56. It's got countless amounts of pressure and moving 2,900 feet per second out of a 16-inch barrel. Explain that, Skylar. If you could explain it, we'll be done. If you can't explain it, son, then what happens is right now you're looking at homicide.
The officers were doing a fantastic job in interviewing him, and it was clear that they had found the murderer. Skylar's stories weren't adding up, and that's when they pressed him even more.
Then we come back to the same question. Why would you shoulder a weapon, put it on fire, put your finger in the trigger well, train the weapon on the back of your wife's head, and pull the trigger?
I did not intentionally try to kill her. The weapon was in her.
And instead of the gun just bang?
No, I never threatened her.
You ready to do a CBSA lie detector test? My partner and I will step out. We'll get a guy in here. He'll do that test and get it all. And if it comes through, you ready to do that? You want to get the truth out
And
here?
maybe help us clarify it.
You want to do that?
Help us understand.
I know you guys really don't.
Well, we're
Trust
just-
me.
No, I want to give you the option. This is an investigative tool. It's not admissible in court. It's an investigative tool. Gives me an idea if you're being truthful or not. That's all.
Yeah, that's
You wanna do it?
You want to do it?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's going to take us about 10 or 15 minutes to get set up.
The interview went on for more than 4 hours, and eventually an official came with a CVSA that would detect the change in frequency of his voice and display a pattern of his voice that could indicate the times when he's lying. The officer immediately started to come heavily at Skylar, giving him no options to lie.
Does it?
No.
No, it doesn't.
I didn't intentionally kill my wife, sir.
You didn't.
I did not.
Really?
The flowers.
What's that fucking machine gonna say? Because I'm gonna tell you what. Let me explain how this works. The FM frequency of your voice will be measured by that machine. A polygraph is 35% accurate. I would not take one if my life depended on it. An 18-year study completed last year with that through Johns Hopkins is 90% accurate. If you lie, absolutely positive of it.
Yes, sir.
No bullshit.
Yes, sir.
So before we get and you waste my time, let me know where you're at with it, bud. Where are you at with it? As a soldier to soldier, tell me what the because the only thing I can do to mitigate you getting 20 is to say, listen, when I looked you straight in the eye, you said, listen, I made a mistake, up, and that's the way it is, okay? Now, is it intentional or isn't it?
It's not intentional, sir, and I did fuck up.
What do you think you deserve then for that?
I wish I could trade places with her.
Okay, got that part. Not happening. How many years do you think you should go to jail? How well do you think you're going to do in Washington State Prison?
The interview continued, and Skylar didn't change his statement. However, soon after this incident, the officers arrested him for first-degree murder as they claimed to have enough evidence against him. It was beyond comprehension as how a person with so much experience around guns and ample military training would accidentally shoot a gun. Moreover, Skylar did not contact 911 on his own. In fact, it was his neighbor who did that. However, Skylar never admitted that he killed his wife and eventually pleaded not guilty, claiming that he loved his wife and would never hurt her.
Time I was trying to clear the weapon and I didn't do it correctly and I made a terrible mistake and the weapon went off in my hands and it struck the back of my wife. And I hit her in the head and she died.
Skylar, how are you holding the weapon? Did Anthony Cross had said he told you something about alcohol, buying something, that someone else bought something for dinner. Remember
That
that?
never happened.
I know that never happened. Okay?
Objection.
I understand that you testified it never happened.
The jury later also asked him to replicate the earlier incident and explain how the gun went off.
And you know that.
Yes, sir.
Is this the first time? Let me ask you this. When is the first time you actually realized how you were holding the weapon?
Beginning of 2015.
Beginning of 2015.
I mean, when the bolt has come back and my hand is too far forward or with the trigger. Sometimes if I'm moving too fast with my hands, your hand can scrape against something on the weapon. Wire behind you can kind of see behind the trigger. And if this part right here, which is called it's the trigger guard, there's different types that come bigger and smaller. And
Can you speak up, please?
yes, there's many options to cut your hand on this weapon.
I'm talking purely your middle finger.
Yeah, I could cut it right here, or on this mag ready.
You could or you did?
I'm not sure exactly where I did cut it to.
Okay, I'm putting up on the screen an image.
Seeing the nature of the incident and his history, Psychological experts claimed that he did not have the profile of a murderer. That's why the jury found him guilty for first-degree manslaughter with firearm enhancement, but acquitted him of the first-degree murder charge. Skyler was sentenced to 13.5 years in prison, with a requirement to serve at least 10 years before being eligible for parole. Do you think the judge handled it fairly, or did the cold-hearted murderer got an easy release? Well, that brings us to the end of this video. Today, we examined a case where a joyful and innocent woman was tragically silenced forever by her own husband. The entire case was a roller coaster, and no one truly uncovered the full truth. In the end, the jury's verdict favored Skyler, giving him the benefit of the doubt. I believe the punishment should have been severe, given his behavior throughout their relationship, which showed signs of control and jealousy. It's highly likely that he shot his wife in a fit of rage. If you agree with me, please consider showing your support by liking this video, and also make sure to subscribe to stay informed about future cases like these. Also, if you enjoyed this video, check out the next video here.